Hi, everybody.
I am Deidre Jagger.
I'm Vinny Vincent Dunn.
And we are both bonCOOK consultants.
24-hour here.
3 years, so I got more on you.
Hey, no bragging right. Hey,
yeah.
No.
I've also owned the product for 15 years.
I've owned for...
probably about 12.
12, 13.
Yeah.
I own half of the product, so figured might as well start buying.
Yeah, it was about time. So we were just going to give you a quick...
It only took me 4 years to talk me into it.
We are going to give you a quick overview of some of the items we offer, and then some of the items that we're going to showcase throughout the time that we do videos.
Yep.
So what do we want to start with?
My favorite.
What's your favorite?
Gotcha.
I favorite. So this is everybody's favorite tool in the kitchen. So what is it called?
It's called an Eco Chop.
And we have lots of different pieces to it. So you have a lid on it. And you can vent it so it can go in the microwave. You can close it so it can go in the fridge. So this is a really cool tool. What else can you do, Vinny?
You can, so with the different pieces, you've got the blade piece here. It has 2 blades with a top guard and then a bottom guard. The bottom guard is awesome because when you place it on there, typically when you chop things and you are using the chopper and
I can't talk and do it at the same time.
Usually when you are chopping items and as they get chopped, they fall to the bottom and they kind of sit there at the bottom and they may not entirely be as chopped as you need them. This bottom guard actually will push the item back up into the blade circulation area so they do get chopped the way you need it. So it actually is flattened here to then scoop the item and force it back up, which I like because then it gives you a consistent chop. With that blade, you just plop it on top, and similar to starting your lawnmower, but a lot easier, you then just rev it and pull, and this revving will spin the blades inside and do your chops. Now,
make sure
part of why I do love this.
The lid.
Yes, you actually put this on the counter. It has a grip action seam here at the bottom to grip the counter, so then you can simply pull.
See how that moves? That's what's happening.
Yeah, so as it's pulling, when you release, this blade on the bottom, that guard, is then, as it's turning the opposite way, it is forcing the food back up and cycling it. So some of the finer chopped items fall to the bottom. Some of the larger items that had maybe fallen to the bottom get recycled back to the top. Now I will say, and Deidre will gripe at me, that this is a recent addition to my collection because
it's taken me a long time to get him to get it.
I love to chop my vegetables with a knife, traditional chopping. However, and I still will if I don't have, if I'm not on a tight schedule, I will definitely still chop by hand. However,
not as often. Don't let him lie.
Not as often, but I will still. But I do love this because there are times I've gotten home 5:30, 6 o'clock at night. You want to make dinner. You just spent an 8-hour day. You don't want to have to chop up all your vegetables. And so this, you can toss in all of your various vegetables. I think you make salsa in a matter of 10 pulls and you have automatic salsa. Mm-hmm. You put
doesn't take long at all. It's great.
You put your onions, you put your tomatoes, you put all your ingredients, your cilantro, toss it in there, give it 10 pulls, and you instantly have salsa that you can toss immediately into your bowl, and you're done.
Or you can put it in the refrigerator with the lid.
Yes, and so that is amazing. And I will admit, after a long time, that this was probably one of the best investments that I made because it helped me when I got home. I didn't have to spend an hour making dinner.
It takes time to chop everything by yourself. Yeah.
I could actually put it in here and be done.
So another thing with this blade is you can take that off, and it actually has a protection cover, so you can cover up the part that's going to cut you.
Yep.
And you don't have to worry about it. So my kids wash this with no problem because, one, they are used to it. But they also can protect themselves when they put that on there after washing it. Another thing it does is we have a straining bowl that goes inside of it.
Similar to like what you may have with a larger like salad spinners.
Yep. And you just sit that inside. And again, you just put the lid on. hold it down, you pull it, and it will, all that water will come out into the bowl. So you're able to take this out with whatever you have in there. I do it a lot with cilantro for my salsa. And then you can just pour the water out. It's amazing.
I do it a lot with tomatoes when I'm doing tomatoes for like tacos. And like you're done chopping the tomatoes, but then you have all that liquid and residual moisture that makes it soggy. Yeah. You can spin this and the tomatoes stay in there. All the moisture goes out. And so then you can actually have a taco that when you sprinkle the tomatoes on, it's not going to have sogginess, mushiness, because it's actually filtered out the seeds and the yucky, gooky stuff and given you the actual meat and the pulp of the tomato.
So if it sits there for a while, you don't have to worry about it because it's not going to be soggy.
Nope.
But the other thing is that everything stores inside of it real nicely. The only thing that you can't do is you can either put this lid on or you can put this lid on. You can't do both of them.
Or you do what I do, and I tuck it underneath, and I just set it on my shelf, and it still is stored on the shelf.
So it's stored together, but you can't have both lids on it.
And
you know,
I will tell Deidre, I love the
he loved it so much. And he has 2 of them. I have 2 of them also.
Yeah, but I have a feeling you probably use one a lot with like your demonstrations. I just have 2 because I just like it.
Well, I would use them both in my kitchen too, so you know. Another thing we have, so that's one of the coolest gadgets that we have in the kitchen. Not too expensive either, and it works for so much. You can do chicken, crackers, tomatoes, like he was saying. You can make salsa. You can make hummus. You can make, I mean, it's amazing.
I've ground up cooked hamburger meat, like when you've cooked hamburger meat in maybe a pan or in the microwave or something like that. But you either have to take the masher and kind of ground it back up and break it up for tacos. I'm using tacos as a lot of an example.
That's tacos. We do tacos.
I've taken chunks of my cooked meat that instead of like sitting there with a masher and trying to break it up, I toss it in there, give 2 or 3 pulls, and it instantly grinds it up and breaks it up for you. So then you, again, dump it in a bowl and you have your taco meat all broken up consistently.
For most of the other items we're going to share, you have to, one of the main things you need for those is the perforated baking sheets.
Yep.
So this has all these tons of holes in it because what happens is it helps to cook whatever you're cooking evenly by spreading the heat around and coming through those and going through into the molds or the trays or the bond mats that you may use with it. So if we put the bond mat,
which is this lovely white
on top of it. This is the large one. So this is a large bond mat and a large perforated baking sheet. So on the large bond mat, it goes on top of the perforated baking sheet. And then everything cooks evenly. You don't have to worry about this side cooking more than this side does. Oops, I need to hold it up. This side cooking more than this side does. Or this being gooey and this being done.
Vanna White, are we going to have a letter pop up somewhere here?
No, there's no letters today. But it works great. Yeah. My favorite thing to cook on this, cookies, of course.
Yes.
I have no cookie sheets in my cabinets anymore because I only use the bond mat. And the other cool thing about any of the molds and trays we show you, and then also this, is the way you store them. So we're going to, you can take it and you just roll it up. So see, his is stored still nicely in the packaging because this is a new one and he doesn't use it yet.
I don't want to use my new one yet.
Yeah.
I want to use the old one, and really, if I wanted to, I would probably, if I waited for the old one to finally kick the bucket, it would probably be 10, 12 years before I finally get to use this. I bought this simply because I was tired of having one. And if I was making a lot of dozens of cookies, I'd have to use one, bake it, come out, and then keep cycling and do one batch at a time. Now I have 2 of these. I have 2 of these, and when I bake, I can now do 2 dozen cookies at a time. And I actually have a 3rd one of these, so then as these are cooking, I can be prepping the next sheet and simply pull this off, put the raw dough on, and start filtering it out. Now, I will say, I also will cook pizza on this and this, because one of the things that bugs the heck out of me is
you just roll the dough out on this. You don't need grease or anything. No. It just comes right off.
No. And one of the things I love about cooking my pizza on here is because you get pizza, and then when you're checking the crust, and like half of the crust over here is cooked, and then this stuff is still white and kind of raw and doughy.
And this doesn't do that. Now we need to make sure, though, we mentioned
yes,
you cannot use a knife on here.
Or a pizza cutter.
Because it will put holes in it, and so then everything drips through, and then your stove gets gross.
Yes.
So we do sell what we call the cake knife server.
It dices. It'll cut your bloody finger off. Not really.
Yeah, it won't cut your finger off. However, it works for everything. You can cut onion, raw potatoes, you can cut chicken, you can cut hamburger, anything
carrots.
You want to cut with it, you
Raw
can
carrots.
cut with it.
Pizza.
And this is safe for all of our gadgets, so you can cut on directly the bun mat.
Yep.
So that's something that you need to make sure that you look at when you're doing it. Because
And if you're cutting a potato,
husbands, kids, children, just make sure they know that.
Yes, and if you're cutting a potato, this is a shout out to our friend Chelsea. Chelsea, when you're cutting a potato, see these ridges? This is called the blade, where like you do the cutting. Not the flat side. That's not going to really cut a potato very well. These are called teeth, and the teeth, like a knife, cut things. So Chelsea, make sure you use the teeth part, not the flat side. You're not going to get very good cutting.
You may be looking at this and thinking, oh my gosh, that's huge. Guess what? We have other sizes.
Medium.
This is the medium.
And we have a small.
Yeah, and then there's one that's about half the size of this one. So we have a small one, we have a medium one, and we have a large one. So we have plenty of the baking sheets for you. He said he only has 2 of those. I think I have like 5 or 6.
Of just the largest?
No, I have like 2 or 3 large, I have 2 or 3 medium, and I have like 1 or 2 smalls. So I have a bunch of them, but that's all I use.
How many ovens do you have in your house that you're
just one oven?
Could use 6 different baking sheets at the same time.
Well, when you take one out, you want to be able to put it back in. It's already ready. You don't have to use that.
Oh, that's true.
That's what we do.
That's true.
So this is amazing too, right?
Yes.
Don't you think this is great?
This is what I cook the hamburger meat in before I toss it into the Eco Chop to then grind it back up. In the microwave.
In the microwave.
In the microwave.
Now we do have a lid for this. Vinny only has the older one, so it's orange. Now they're white and they're bond mats, not soap hats.
Again, I've been using this product for
we've had
over
it for
a
long
decade.
time. So if you have this full of stuff and you put it in the... Here, let's put it on something. Yeah. You put it in the microwave. This is the lid.
Make it a little tidier. But yes, this is the lid. And
in the microwave, cook hamburger.
I made mac and cheese, and I boiled in the microwave the noodles. And instead of water spilling all out and stuff, when I looked at it to check to make sure water wasn't coming out, all I saw was the lid flippity flappity flippity flappity, and that's because as the bubbles come up, they actually are hitting the lid and they're breaking, and so it's not allowing spillage to come out the sides.
Yes. Now, not only can you do macaroni and cheese or hamburger, you can make cake in the oven.
Quiches.
You can make a quiche.
Frittatas. All sorts of stuff.
You can make vegetables in the microwave.
Yep. Oh Lord, what?
There's so much you can do with this. Like anything that you want to put in it, you could put in it.
I'm trying to think of something you can't do.
I don't know, because guess what? It's oven safe.
Microwave safe.
Freezer safe.
Dishwasher safe.
Yes. Top rack only for dishwasher though.
Yeah.
But truthfully, you don't need the dishwasher because it's so easy to clean. However, if you're
30
lazy,
seconds or less.
If you're lazy.
Not lazy.
Or because you got a dishwasher now and you just want to use it all the time.
I'm not lazy. I haven't had a dishwasher for 3 years. So sue me for wanting to use it for every... I will take clean stuff out and be like, you haven't been used for a week. Let's give you a nice rinse in the dishwasher.
Because he's crazy.
Just because I have a dishwasher now.
But this is the mold. It's a large round mold.
Yep. And there's also, just like the perforated baking sheets, there's also smaller sizes of this as well.
Yeah, this is the large, and there's a medium, a small, and a mini. The mini is great for small eggs in the microwave.
Yep, and I
My
think
kids
you
do that
use
one all the time.
the small one or something when you're making your ganache.
Yes, I make chocolate ganache in the microwave in the mini. It's in the mini, but same thing. It's in the mini cake mold. Okay, this is our next one. This is a tray. So this one is the straight muffin tray. So as you can tell, it looks like
muffins.
Little muffins. Or you could use it for cupcakes or anything else. But
or
again,
bacon wrapped chocolate chip pancakes.
Or he does weird things sometimes. But again, you do not need oil or grease in any of these. You just cook directly in them.
And then they fall out.
And then they pop right out. We made, do we have any cups
them
left?
all. Oh, the macaroni.
The macaroni cups. Yeah, we didn't do brownies in this one. In the very bottom drawer. To the right.
Oh, I'm old.
So today we made macaroni cups in this. So we make macaroni, and then
like macaroni and cheese muffins.
Macaroni and cheese, yeah, macaroni
Muffins.
and cheese cups in the muffin tray, you know. But it worked, and except for he just broke one.
Well, you know, he's so cute.
And that's what they look like.
It's like a little muffin,
when
but
it
it's
came
mac
out of
and
here.
cheese.
Yeah, and it just comes straight out.
Yep. Pops
No
right
grease,
out.
no oils, no nothing.
And they even made some of the batches so that way we could demonstrate. I had a house party because we just bought a house. But we purposely on some of these things, Deidre will even when she's demonstrating stuff, she will purposely like spill cheese
Make it messy
and like slide batter all over the place, and then so it looks like she doesn't know how to actually like nicely cook something, but it's really part of the demonstration. And literally, they just fall right off.
Yeah, and they come right out, so it's so easy to clean up. You don't have to worry about it.
This is easy. Your 9, 10, 12, 19, 20.
10, 11, 12-year-olds can clean them up.
Your 31-year-old husband could do it.
Yeah. So this is how I store them. I generally like bend them, you know, fold them over, whatever. Vinny actually stores them in rubber bands, and he stores them in 31 bags, actually.
I've got.
So he has, I think, 17. Don't take him out. We're not.
No. I counted these. I've got 23 various things, but I will roll them up, rubber band them, and then slide them in here, and then I just store them. And it's 2 little totes. They're probably 12 inches by 6 inches, and they hold stuff. And I even have bread baking products here that I can just fold up, put it in the side pouch. I mean, I've got all sorts of stuff. And they store extremely, extremely well.
So to go off of the making things dirty, there's a picture that I took of the brownie bites I made today. And see right there above that paper, all of that. I did that chocolate there on purpose because I needed to know which side was which flavor.
On purpose.
Because.
Air quotes.
Yeah. We'll get to that in a minute with the flavoring. That's mine.
Dang.
Don't take my tray.
I was hoping to get away with like having
Trying to take my tray away.
Is this one mine?
Yes, that's yours.
Okay.
Yeah, and this one's yours too.
Okay.
What's this one?
A really long, complicated name. No, it's a bonCOOK spiral bon mold spiral bump cake doodad.
So this is the spiral bon mold. And it is so pretty when it comes out. And it, again, all of these are made from 100% silicone glass. They never need greased. You don't need to use oil. They're BPA free. They're, I mean, they're just safe overall. They're easy to clean. You can make a mess, and it does wonderful. So this is just another one. I just wanted to show you one that was designed, had a design in it, since we didn't do very many designs. But all of these will be featured on our shows when we start doing them. We wanted to give you guys an overview of things. What are you looking for over there, Vinny?
My deep.
The deep flexi flat?
Yeah.
Oh, he'll be back with the flexi flat. So.
I wanted to show something.
Oh, he found it.
Because I have for all you people, husbands, wives, or your spouses,
We're gonna need
and
this.
you don't share the same taste in food.
That would be me and my family because I don't like hamburger or red meat. I eat
And that
chicken
would-
and turkey.
and
So
that
when
would
Vinny's
be-
cooking, he does it for me also.
Yes, and that would be my family because I eat whatever. My husband does not eat vegetables, and I don't mean certain he does not.
He doesn't eat
vegetables.
any vegetables. It's ridiculous.
He eats potatoes because those aren't vegetables. That's a starch. He'll eat garlic because that's not a vegetable. That's a herb or a seasoning.
So this is our deep flexi flat, and notice how it has the edges on the side of it, so that you can cook hamburger in here, and the grease would stay in it, or chicken or anything else. But you can also put casseroles in it.
You can do I do desserts, and so I'll do like a sponge cake that I can then
Roll.
do my filling and then easily pick it up and do the spiral rolled, and so then I have that lovely log and spiral thing, and it's perfect because part of the issue with a sponge is you're hoping it doesn't stick to the paper or whatever. It doesn't stick to this. It literally,
no grease, no oil, but it doesn't stick.
Yeah.
It also pumpkin rolls.
Yes.
I make pumpkin or cake rolls or whatever
Yep.
you want to make. You can use this with your bun mat.
Yep.
So, but the other thing he wanted to show you was that we have metal frames. Now I can remember the name. I couldn't remember that earlier for anything.
Metal frames.
Yeah, they're metal frames.
You couldn't remember metal.
In a frame!
Frame.
I just couldn't remember it.
Okay.
So this one are...
She's special.
They're two separate ones. So you can do two different sides of it. It's in.
Yep.
You can do two different dishes. So you can do chicken casserole and tuna casserole, or
meat
with vegetables
galore,
and meat with no vegetables.
Meat galore lasagna. Meat with some veggies in the lasagna.
So you can split it up. Now we do have a frame that also is one frame that takes up the whole thing.
Yeah.
So you can make the same thing. And I use that one to make regular lasagna for everybody who's going to eat everything that
one
you
type of
usually
lasagna.
do.
Yeah.
Also for one pan meal, sometimes if you have a lot of stuff in there, you can put it in there. Cakes. I've made a cake with it.
Mm-hmm.
So this you could even make, a white cake and a chocolate cake.
And then you can cut it out and make it look like a yin-yang thing.
You can do whatever, yeah.
One thing that I will say with this is the other good thing you can do with this is that, so not only, like, let's say you all like the same thing, but maybe it's just you and your spouse, you don't have kids, or maybe you are a single parent and you have only a few kids or whatever. You could make the same thing in both sides, but
sorry.
You can make the same thing in both sides, but let's say you're not going to eat all of this. You could make simple portions. So this is going to be for dinner, but then this side is the same thing, but you're going to take it home. And so you're still making the same thing, but one is for now, one is for later, and it's already portioned out for you that you could easily store and then grab and go and take it with you. So it's not always a case of there's two different tastes in the family. It could be you're making the same thing, but you're portioning it out so that way you can easily store it and go.
Especially if you're the only one at home. Like, that would make it so much easier for when you are trying to make food for later and you want to prep it now. It's kind of hard. But you could do that now and then freeze it and you'd be okay.
And you're still just doing a one-time
You're still doing a one-time cooking, but you have 2 meals out of it. That's the other thing with these molds, with the trays. Because, they're portion controlled because you have this one and you have this one and this one. So if there's only, 2 people eating, you're going to have a lot of food there, but guess what? You can freeze it. Freeze the food, take it out, and use it later. That's the best thing.
Yep.
So, earlier, I showed you the picture of the brownies that we did. Only because it was messy. So, in those brownies, we also sell the French pantry items, which are seasonings and oils and balsamics that we have for sale. So, we have the raspberry. We have vanilla, currently. We have orange. And there's 2 other ones that I use, but I'm not going to talk about those much because I'm not sure if they're going to still be in the catalog.
Oh!
Or if they're changing.
I want the raspberry one. Oh.
The orange, that's right here.
Oh, you already said, oh, never mind, we're good then.
As far as I know, that one's staying. I guess we'll find out. I don't know if it's staying or not. But anyways, what we did was I took all the brownie mix, we mixed it up, and then we poured them into these trays are our special trays, so you may not find them on the website because at times they have different trays, but this tray is one of them that we poured it into. Well, then on top of each one of these, once it had the brownie mix in them, we took this flavoring of whatever it was, and we put some on it, and then we stirred it up. Then, when you get them out, and then you eat them.
They're amazing.
Amazing!
I like the raspberry.
He loved the raspberry ones. I loved one of the other ones. We don't sell that one right now.
It was bomb.com. Raspberry, get it now. It may not be in the catalog.
So, this one is a balsamic.
Which
it's a vinegar.
Which you traditionally think balsamic vinegar equals salad dressing or something.
But it doesn't have to
Why
be,
are you going to put it in a dessert?
It was good.
And it was amazing.
It's like a fruity flavor inside of chocolate.
And
that's the thing that made it so good.
Yeah, and what a lot of people don't realize is that little science note here, when vinegar actually is mixed in with foods and it's cooked, it actually loses that vinegar smell and taste, and you're left with whatever the natural, it burns off much like alcohol. When you're cooking with alcohol, the alcohol burns off, but whatever flavor of the alcohol is still maintained in the food. That is exactly the same with vinegar. Once it's cooked, the vinegar aspect disappears and you're left with some yummy, delicious raspberries.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's so good. I mean, the chocolate was
Did I do this one?
so good. Yeah, we did that one.
Okay. I'm trying to clean as we're doing the...
Yeah, he's keeping it clean and I'm just going with
She's just taking more stuff out.
So, as you can tell, we have a lot of products. There are also some we didn't mention or didn't go over, but we have
a lot of products.
We have coffee products.
I love coffee.
Honey. We have herbs or seasonings. There's just so many. So, if you want to know more about it, just keep up with our channel because we will be doing, hopefully, monthly videos.
Yes.
These will be cooking. Most of them will be cooking.
Most of them will be cooking. This is just our intro of...
We wanted to get it started since we just
and kind of what we sell, what we cook with, and that's the one good thing. Most people, when they're selling stuff, they don't actually use not always, but they don't necessarily use the product they're selling. Like if you looked at my my kitchen right now, I have an entire shelf and a half dedicated just with all this stuff. So I use it on a regular basis.
And it's like almost the only thing I have in my kitchen, so
yeah, and that's
it's used all the time for me.
Yeah,
so these are done now.
Okay.
They're back in the thing. So again, if you want to check us out, subscribe. Make sure you subscribe so you can see more. And just remember, it is Daedra and Vinny, bonCOOK, Independent Consultants. Bye.
Bye. Love